Just 4 minutes. That's all. What if I told you that right now, in this very moment, you are standing at a door that has the power to completely change the direction of your life, and bring you to the dream you've always longed for but could never quite reach? You don't need hours of daily meditation to open this door. You don't need to plaster your walls with affirmation notes, follow ancient rituals, or spend your days searching the sky for signs. The only thing required is that you close your eyes and do one simple thing. Something that is already woven into the deepest layers of who you are, hidden inside the very blueprint of your being, even if you've never been aware of it until now. What I'm about to share with you is not a fairy tale. This is both a scientific and a timeless truth. One that has stood the test of generations, shed light on the darkest corners of the human mind, and was given to us by one of the greatest pioneers of modern psychology, Carl Gustav Jung. This is a truth that has rewritten the destiny of thousands of people across centuries. Carl Jung was not simply a psychiatrist or a researcher. He was a deep explorer of the human soul. A thinker who could see the invisible behind the visible, the hidden meaning inside ordinary experience. Throughout his entire career, Jung held on to one core belief. Reality is not what most people think it is. It is not just a stream of outside events crashing into you, completely separate from who you are and what you carry within. While working in his stone retreat on the shores of Lake Zurich, Jung uncovered something that shakes the very foundation of how most people live their lives. Every desire you hold, every longing that lives inside you, these have already taken shape on a deeper level. They have already occurred. You simply haven't yet stepped into the specific state of awareness that allows you to experience that reality as your own. And if you stay with me right now, genuinely, fully, and apply the 4-minute method I'm about to share, you will have the chance to see this truth at work in your own life. No one else's permission required. Are you ready to hear the method that can move those unmovable mountains in your life, and open the pathways that have felt blocked for far too long? If yes, lean back, take a slow and deliberate breath, and listen all the way through. Because what comes next is not just information. It is an invitation to wake up. As Jung himself once said, until you bring the unconscious into the light, it will run your life, and you will call it fate. If something in this message speaks to you, subscribe to Carl Jung Philosophy and hit the like button, because what comes next may genuinely shift the way you see yourself and the life you are capable of living. When Carl Jung went deep into the layers of human psychology, he found something that most people spend their entire lives never confronting. The reason your desires don't come to life is not that fortune has turned its back on you. It's not that you were born without luck, or that you haven't worked hard enough, or that you simply don't deserve what you want. The reason goes much deeper. And it lives entirely within the realm of your own perception. You see the thing you desire as something outside yourself. Something distant. Something to be chased, climbed toward, earned through years of struggle and sacrifice. And somewhere in the background of your mind, a quiet voice keeps whispering, maybe one day I'll have it. If I push hard enough. If I give up enough. If I try just a little more. And here is the profound truth that Jung uncovered through decades of working with real human beings. It is exactly this mindset, this posture of chasing something that feels far away, that forms the single greatest wall standing between you and the life you want. Jung made this point again and again, in his writings and in his work with patients. You must feel as though you already have what you desire. You must move through your days from inside that state, from the feeling of already having. Don't wait for your circumstances to improve before you allow yourself to feel good. Feel it first. Experience the fullness first. And then watch how life begins to rearrange itself around that inner shift. This is not a surface-level tip about staying positive. This is the deep inner work of consciousness itself. This is the understanding that your emotional state, the inner climate you live in, shapes everything you perceive and attract as outer reality. The paradox at the heart of all of this is this. As long as you carry the feeling of not having what you want, you will continue not having it. Because the universe doesn't respond to what you ask for. It responds to what you are. So how do you genuinely believe in something you cannot yet see or touch? How do you feel the reality of something your rational mind keeps insisting does not exist yet? This is exactly where Jung provides the answer, through what he called psychic reality. Jung taught that the imagination, the power of genuine inner vision, is more real than the facts we see in front of us. Everything you are currently experiencing as your outer world is simply the solidified result of your past feelings, your past thoughts, your past states of being. What you feel right now, in this present moment, is the seed of the reality you will step into tomorrow. So if you shift the inner feeling, if you change the emotional climate you're operating from, you change your future. Because the source of your future does not live outside of you. It lives within you. Precisely where you have always had full access to it. Imagination is not a childish game. It is a tool of creation available to you at every single moment of your existence. But there is one critical distinction you must understand. When you practice this kind of inner vision, you must not observe the scene from a distance, like watching a movie from the back row of a theater. You must step fully inside the scene. You must inhabit it with your whole self. Feeling it in your body, in your bones, with every sense fully alive. Let's say you want to be free from financial pressure. Or to find the love of your life. If all day long you continue feeling buried in debt and deeply alone, the signal you are sending, to your subconscious and to the world around you, is exactly this: I am in debt. I am alone. And the world, like a faithful and completely impartial mirror, will reflect that signal right back to you. More financial strain. More isolation. More evidence confirming the story you are living from. But if you choose, right now, in this very moment, to feel like someone who is free from that burden. Someone who is loved and valued and whole. Your entire inner chemistry begins to shift. Your behavior changes. The way you carry yourself changes. The way you respond to people and opportunities changes. And when you change, the world around you has no choice but to echo something different back to you. Because the world is not responding to your desires. It is reflecting your identity, the person you actually are on the inside, beneath all the wanting and the striving and the fear. Carl Jung called this the law of consciousness. And he held that it is as consistent and universal as the law of gravity itself. You can test this right now. Within just a few minutes, you can feel the shift happening inside you. But pay close attention to this one distinction. If you tell yourself I am pretending to be at peace, you will remain exactly that, a person who is pretending. But if you genuinely catch the feeling of abundance, of calm, of wholeness, as though you are waking up into a completely different version of your life, then everything begins to move. Without force. Without strain. This is not a mind game. This is the inner work that Jung was describing when he said, the feeling of a wish fulfilled is the gateway through which that wish enters your reality. In other words, stop wanting what you desire. Start being the person who already has it. The hardest part is only the very beginning. The mind resists. It wants to snap back to its familiar grooves of worry and doubt. But with just a few days of honest practice, this new inner state becomes natural. It becomes your default way of moving through the world. And it all begins with the simple but powerfully effective 4-minute practice we are about to walk through together. This method, drawn from the depth of Carl Jung's work, may look almost too simple at first. You might catch yourself thinking, surely something this straightforward can't produce real results. Because we have been conditioned to believe that meaningful transformation must be complex, painful, and hard-earned. But in this practice, there are no rituals to master. No rare materials to find. No phrases to repeat hundreds of times in a precise order. There is only you. There is your remarkable capacity for inner vision. And there is the deep feeling of a reality that already knows where it is going. Everything you need is already layered inside who you are. If you can give just 4 genuine minutes each day to inhabiting the feeling that your desire has already been fulfilled, you begin moving the invisible energy that shapes and organizes matter itself. This is not abstract philosophy. This is a lived and proven approach that has reshaped the lives of countless human beings. Jung called this working from the inside out, because this kind of inner action is completely independent of outside conditions. Even when the outer world looks chaotic and relentless, you can build your own inner stability within. Now if you are ready, let's move into the first step of this 4-minute shift. Find a quiet place for yourself. A corner where no one will interrupt you. Where no notification, no voice, no outside demand can reach you. This could be your bedroom with the door closed. A bench beneath a tree in a nearby park. Even the inside of your car in a parking lot will do perfectly well. What matters is not the luxury of the setting. What matters is that you can be completely alone with yourself. Settle into a comfortable position. Keep your spine upright, but not rigid. Take 3 slow, deliberate deep breaths, breathing with full awareness. With each exhale, release everything. The weight of the day. The stress you've been carrying. The expectations placed on you. The regrets of the past. The anxieties about tomorrow. Let all of it leave your body with each breath out. Allow the sounds of the outside world to soften into the background. Let the relentless push of time slow down for a moment. Simply allow yourself to melt into the stillness. Bring your mind to that soft, quiet space that exists between full wakefulness and sleep. That gentle, hazy threshold where ordinary mental resistance begins to loosen, and something deeper becomes reachable. Now close your eyes. And ask yourself the question that Jung considered one of the most transformative in all of psychology. If my desire were already fulfilled, right now, in this exact moment, what would I feel? Don't rush toward an answer. Don't let your mind immediately fire back with logical sentences and explanations. Let your body respond. Let your deeper awareness answer, not in words, but as a state. As a quality of being. As a felt sense of something being true. Let's say you want to be free from financial pressure. Picture it. You have just received confirmation that every debt has been cleared. Your account holds more than enough. You are free. What kind of lightness would rise in your chest in that moment? How would your breathing shift when that invisible weight is finally lifted from your shoulders? Would it be joy? Deep and overwhelming gratitude. A long, quiet exhale of relief after years of holding your breath. Allow that feeling to move through your entire body like warm light, spreading through your bloodstream, reaching every cell, every corner of your being. Now build a simple but vivid and specific scene that makes this feeling concrete and real. Perhaps you are holding a letter confirming that every financial obligation has been resolved. Perhaps you are laughing freely with someone you deeply love on the porch of a home that finally feels like yours. If your desire is love, imagine it is evening. You are sitting beside the person you care for. You can feel the warmth of their presence. Your eyes meet, and in that look there is no fear, no quiet anxiety. There is only deep connection. Only peace. Only the quiet certainty of being fully seen and fully loved. If your desire is creative success, feel the moment your work finally reaches the people it was meant for. Feel the warmth of recognition, of impact, of having created something that genuinely mattered. The most critical point in all of this is something that must be felt, not just understood. Do not watch yourself in that scene from the outside. Be inside the scene. Live it from within. Feel the texture of the space around you. Draw the air of that reality into your lungs. Let the sounds of that world reach your ears. This is not passive daydreaming. This is full, embodied inhabitation of a reality you are actively calling into being. Now the second phase of this practice begins, anchoring the feeling. Stay inside that feeling for 3 full minutes. Without asking whether it is working. Without slipping into analysis or self-doubt. Simply repeat inwardly, with quiet conviction. This has already happened. This is already mine. I am living inside this reality right now. Do not force the emotions. Do not manufacture them or push them into existence. Allow your body to respond naturally, because it is not your thinking mind that rewrites your reality. It is the authentic, unforced response of your body, the felt sense of something being genuinely true, that carries the real transformative power. And as Jung himself taught, when and how this will appear in the outer world is not your responsibility. If you have truly felt this on the inner level, in the full reality of your interior world, then it has already been created in the invisible dimension. And everything created in the invisible dimension will eventually appear in the visible one. It is only a matter of time. The seed has been placed in the ground. Now it is nature's work to crack it open and let it grow. Your task is simply to trust the soil. Now, do you want to know how to multiply the power of this method dramatically? And understand exactly where most people make the mistake that destroys everything they've carefully built? Then stay with me, because what comes next is the part almost no one talks about. And it is the part that makes all the difference. Someone encountering Jung's depth psychology or these kinds of teachings for the first time will almost always try to complicate the process. They will immediately ask, which affirmation should I use? What specific hour is best for this practice? Do I need candles? Do I need to face a certain direction? But the truth is that the most common and most damaging errors all come from the same source, the desperate urge to control the outcome. You do not need to perform this perfectly. You simply need to be inside that feeling, as though what you desire is already yours. Allow your body, rather than your analyzing mind, to lead the way. Genuine inner vision is not the act of forcing a clear mental picture behind closed eyes. It is inhabiting that image with your entire being. Living inside it rather than constructing it from the outside. The clarity of the image does not matter. What matters, the only thing that truly matters, is the depth of your belief and the authenticity of your feeling. When you release the compulsion to analyze, to compare yourself to others, to anxiously calculate how long this will take, you connect yourself to the vast creative intelligence of the universe. And one of the most powerful ways to anchor and amplify this inner state is through what Jung considered one of the most sacred and overlooked windows available to human beings, the moments right before sleep. Those final minutes before you drift into unconsciousness are extraordinary in terms of your access to the deeper mind. Scientifically, this is the window when your brain transitions from the fast analytical waves of waking awareness into slower, more receptive frequencies. In this transitional state, the resistance of the conscious mind softens and begins to dissolve. The critical, doubting part of you grows quiet. And in that quietness, you gain direct access to the deeper reservoir of your subconscious. The part of your mind that stores every belief, every emotional pattern, every deep conviction about what is possible for you. In these precise moments, floating gently between wakefulness and sleep, plant the feeling of your desire already fulfilled directly into the fertile ground of your subconscious mind. You don't need elaborate mental scenarios or long, detailed narratives. A single vivid moment is more than enough. Simply lying in your bed, feel the moment everything shifts. Hear the voice of someone you love saying, "I'm here. I'm yours." Or simply rest inside that deep, wordless sense of peace. The quiet, profound knowing that says, "I no longer need to struggle. I have arrived. It is done." At the very heart of Jung's teaching lies this one revolutionary instruction: don't try to create something that doesn't yet exist. Make the transition into the state where it already exists. Imagination is the human reflection of a divine creative capacity. And as long as you don't interrupt the process with doubt and second-guessing, everything you hold in genuine imagination, with genuine feeling, must eventually take form. This is not a possibility. It is a principle. This is exactly why, after completing this 4-minute practice, you must not immediately collapse back into your old anxious, contracted self. If you greet the morning by rehearsing your problems, complaining about how hard life is, or feeding your mind with fear-based content, you are pulling up with your own hands the very seed you so carefully planted the night before. After the practice, simply trust. Stop asking how it will happen, or through what circumstances it will arrive. That is not your responsibility. Your only responsibility is to preserve the inner feeling of completion. Of it already being done. Even when nothing in the outer world has visibly changed yet. Even when the external landscape remains completely still and quiet. This is what genuine faith actually looks like. Not passive resignation. It is the active, conscious, unwavering ability to celebrate on the inside while the outside world remains silent. And when you maintain that inner stillness and inner certainty, events begin rearranging themselves in the most unexpected and often breathtaking ways. When you combine this evening practice with the energy of genuine gratitude, its power reaches an entirely different level. Don't simply visualize, give thanks as though what you desire has already arrived and taken its rightful place in your life. Say inwardly, "Thank you that this is already part of my reality. Thank you for this peace. Thank you for this fulfillment I am already living." As you do this, feel your body relaxing even further. The last remaining resistance melting away like frost in the morning sun. You are no longer holding on. You are no longer chasing. You are no longer afraid. You are home. Gratitude is one of the highest inner states available to a human being. Where genuine gratitude lives, fear and lack cannot simultaneously reside. And where fear releases its grip, where the desperate energy of needing something to happen finally lets go, things begin to move. Because you are no longer pleading with the universe to give you something. You are saying, I have already received it. I accept it. I am grateful. And that shift, from grasping to receiving, from lack to gratitude, is the shift that changes everything. Now we arrive at one of the most mysterious, least discussed, and most vital dimensions of this entire process. The question of why you must never share your desires with others before they have fully taken solid form in your reality. Why silence is not merely helpful, but absolutely essential. What Jung described as energetic containment, and what many ancient traditions understood as protecting the seed of creation, is the deep reason behind what many cultures have long recognized as the cost of premature disclosure. This is not superstition. This is an energy principle of the highest order. Every word you speak about your desire before it has hardened into concrete reality is a leak of creative power. When you eagerly tell someone, I'm going to do this, I'm going to buy this house, I'm starting this new chapter, you are not simply sharing information. You are releasing outward the very fire that needs to remain contained and burning within you. The fire that feeds and grows the dream into being. Jung and the wisdom teachers who came before him all pointed to the same truth across different eras and different traditions. Be still. Protect what you carry. The moment you announce your intention to someone, especially someone who doubts your potential, someone carrying their own unresolved wounds about what is possible, you walk directly into the wall of their limiting beliefs. Their doubt seeps into your mind. Their skepticism quietly erodes the inner architecture you've been building. And the foundation of belief you've so carefully constructed begins to crack from the inside. Remember, every great desire begins in a state of tender fragility. Like a seed. Like an embryo. It is delicate. Unformed. It requires darkness, warmth, silence, and protection in order to take root and grow strong enough to face the light. If you keep digging up a seed to check whether it's growing, the seed dies. Your dreams work in precisely the same way. Expose them to the cold judgment of others too soon, and they wither before they ever had the chance to become real. In this context, silence is not a restriction. It is an act of deep self-trust. If you genuinely trust yourself and trust the process unfolding within you, you do not need anyone else's approval or confirmation. Seeking outside validation is essentially saying, my own belief is not strong enough on its own. Please help me believe. But real power does not announce itself. Real power does not advertise or seek applause. It works quietly, invisibly, with complete consistency. And one day, you simply step out the door and discover that your reality has already transformed. Modern psychology actually confirms and supports Jung's position here with remarkable precision. When a person shares their goal with others and receives enthusiastic encouragement in return, yes, that feels wonderful. The brain releases a surge of dopamine. A wave of satisfaction moves through the body. But here is the critical problem with that experience. The brain cannot reliably distinguish between the reward of actually achieving something and the reward of simply talking about achieving it. The feeling of accomplishment has already been delivered, without the work, without the transformation, without the genuine inner shift. And what happens next is almost predictable. The motivation quietly fades. The inner tension and energy required to actually move toward that goal slowly dissolves. Everything remains beautifully articulated, and completely unrealized. Jung captured it with characteristic directness. The one who truly knows does not speak. The one who speaks does not yet know. Know on the inside. Stay quiet on the outside. When genuine inspiration arrives, take action. But protect your intention at the energetic level with the same fierce and devoted care you would give to the most precious thing you have ever been trusted to keep. You owe no one a progress report on what you are in the process of creating. This is your inner work. This is your spiritual privacy. Power operates in silence. Just as a child grows in the quiet darkness of the womb without announcing itself. Just as trees reach toward the sky without making a single sound. And one day you simply step forward, and your reality has already changed around you. People will say you were lucky. But you will know what actually happened. What they're calling luck is the new identity you wove together in those quiet, deliberate nights, thread by silent thread. So don't rush to speak. Rush to feel. Don't try to convince anyone. Simply experience. Don't announce, embody. The longer you hold that desire within you, unspoken, the more it concentrates. It gains depth. It matures. It transforms into a force of extraordinary magnetic pull, drawing the right people, the right opportunities, the right unexpected alignments toward you. Effortlessly. Silently. Because you are no longer broadcasting lack and desperate need. You are broadcasting completion, certainty, and quiet wholeness. Now let us arrive at the final and most transformative principle. The technique that Jung called beginning from the end. The ancient approach that converts inner vision into outer reality faster than anything else available to the human mind. Act as though your desire has already been fulfilled. Not in theory. Not in some imagined future. Not with the hesitant qualifier of maybe one day. Right now. In this present moment. Already fulfilled. Already real. Already yours. This is the cornerstone of everything Jung taught, and everything the great teachers of consciousness who came after him built upon. Feel the result as already received. Think from the result as already achieved. Behave as the person who already lives inside that reality. Instead of asking for something, move into the frequency of thank you for having given it. Instead of please make this happen, inhabit the frequency of thank you for this that has already been granted to me. This is not self-deception. This is entering into conscious alignment with a version of reality in which your desire has already fully materialized. Your subconscious mind cannot reliably distinguish between what is objectively happening and what is vividly, emotionally, and sensorially imagined. It follows the feelings, the images, and the emotional states you feed it, with complete and unconditional responsiveness. If you carry the inner knowing that everything is well, that everything is complete, that everything is already as it should be, then the outer world is drawn to reorganize itself in alignment with that inner conviction. Jung taught this with remarkable simplicity. Do not desire. Accept. Receive. If your deepest dream had been fulfilled 5 minutes ago, what would change in your body right now? How would the expression on your face soften? How would your voice settle into a quieter, more grounded register? How would your posture shift, your spine lengthening, your shoulders releasing, your breath finally slowing into something that feels like rest? What would you stop doing? Which worries would you simply let go of? Which anxieties would dissolve the moment you knew, truly knew, that it was done? These details, these small, specific shifts in posture, in breath, in facial expression, in the quality of your attention, these are the actual keys. They are not cosmetic changes. They are vibrational signatures. When you enter the feeling of completion at this level of physical, embodied specificity, the signal you are broadcasting into the field around you shifts entirely. You begin transmitting to the universe, I am certain. I am whole. I am complete. And the universe does not respond to what you want. It responds to who you are. To the signal you are genuinely sending in each moment. Do you want love in your life? Begin living as someone who is already deeply loved and fully accepted, and watch how love finds its way to you through channels you never anticipated. Do you want financial freedom? Begin carrying the inner ease and quiet confidence of someone whose relationship with abundance is already healthy and resolved, and watch how opportunity flows toward you through unexpected doors. Do you want healing? Before your body has fully recovered, feel yourself vital and whole in your cells. And watch how the body follows the consciousness that leads it. Because you are not demanding. You are not begging. You are radiating. You are not walking toward the desire. You are standing within it, and looking back from the place of already having. You are not becoming someone who will eventually have this. You are being someone who already does. And that is the entire secret contained within Jung's observations of the sudden and inexplicable transformations he witnessed throughout his career. He helped his patients inhabit their healed state. Not tomorrow. Not after the next treatment. Not eventually. But now. In the present moment. With full and genuine feeling. This is not a theory. This is a principle that has been tested and lived out in the lives of thousands of people across generations. When a human being truly feels that they have already received what they sought, they stop struggling. They stop searching. They stop gripping and forcing and controlling. And in that moment of genuine release, in that profound and peaceful stillness, the movement begins. Things arrive naturally. Because you are no longer clinging to them with the energy of desperate need. They are already there. They were always there. This is what Jung called wholeness. You are no longer the one searching for the result. You are the result. And if you can maintain this state, even for a few deliberate minutes each day, you will begin to see everything around you shifting. Sometimes the shift begins within the 4 minutes themselves. Sometimes it begins in the exact second you finally and completely release the resistance you have been holding. Because the universe does not respond to your words. It responds to that inner feeling, it is finished. It is complete. It is done. So now, everything you have taken in during this time comes together into one clear and immediately actionable practice. Tonight, before you sleep, find your quiet place. Close your eyes. Breathe deliberately and slowly, releasing everything that does not belong in this sacred space. And then imagine, not from a distance, but from within. Your desire has already been fulfilled. Feel it in your body before you feel it in your mind. Feel the warmth expanding in your chest. Feel the quiet smile arriving on your face without any effort. Feel the weight that has been lifted. Feel the certainty that has replaced the fear. And then whisper inwardly, with your whole heart, thank you. Not as a plea. As a declaration. as the closing of a circle, as the recognition that what you called for has already answered. You are not practicing hope. You are practicing truth. You are not rehearsing a future. You are inhabiting a present that simply hasn't become fully visible yet. And that is the single most important distinction Carl Jung ever offered to the world. The difference between a life spent waiting, and a life spent creating. One deliberate 4 minutes at a time. One genuine feeling of completion at a time. One act of silent, unwavering inner certainty at a time. If this message moved something real within you, if even one idea here opened something that felt previously closed, subscribe to Carl Jung Philosophy for more content that goes beneath the surface of how we think, feel, and create our experience of being alive. Share this with someone who is ready to stop waiting for their life to change from the outside, and finally begin changing it from within. Because the power has always been there. It has always been yours. Today you simply remembered where it lives. Before you go, I have to ask you something directly. Did something in this message land somewhere real inside you? Did even one idea shift the way you see yourself or what is possible for your life? If it did, hit that subscribe button right now. Not later. Right now. Because every video on this channel is designed to reach the part of you that already knows the truth, and simply needs the right words to remember it. Subscribe and ring the notification bell, because the next video may be the one that changes everything. If this video brought you any value at all, please give it a like right now. That one small action tells YouTube to show this message to more people who are quietly struggling and need to hear it. You may never meet them. But your like could reach them. Now, here is what I want most from you. Scroll down to the comments right now and answer this one question. What is the one desire you have been secretly carrying inside you for far too long? The dream you keep pushing to the back of your mind because it feels too big or too far away. Write it below. Even just a few words. Because something powerful happens when you name what you want, it stops being a vague wish and becomes something real. Something declared. One step closer to being yours. This comment section is a safe space. No judgment. Only people doing the same work you are doing, quietly and courageously choosing to believe in something better. So write it. Right now. Don't think. Just type. I read every single comment. And I will see you in the next video.